The late 19th century was a time of great change and progress in America. Cities boomed, and the echoes of the Industrial Revolution rang out across the land. But in the shadows, a darkness stirred. A monster walked among us, preying on the innocent and vulnerable. His name was H. Holmes, and he is widely considered America's first serial killer. Holmes's story is a chilling reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places. He was a charming and charismatic man, able to gain the trust of those around him. This made him all the more dangerous as he used his charm to lure victims to their deaths. Holmes's crimes shocked the nation, and his legacy continues to fascinate and horrify us today. His story is a dark chapter in American history, but it is one that deserves to be told. By understanding Holmes and his crimes, we can better understand the nature of evil and the importance of vigilance. Holmes's story is not for the faint of heart. It is a tale of murder, deceit, and madness. But it is also a story that offers a glimpse into the dark side of human nature. It is a story that we must never forget. Herman Webster Mudgett, the man who would become known as H. Holmes, was born in New Hampshire in 1861. Even as a child, there were signs of the darkness that would consume him. He was known to be cruel to animals. He had a morbid fascination with death. Holmes excelled in school, showing a particular aptitude for science. He later attended medical school, where he honed his skills in anatomy and physiology. This knowledge would later serve him in his gruesome endeavors. After completing medical school, Holmes began to drift. He engaged in various scams and fraudulent schemes. He was drawn to a life of crime, seemingly seeking thrills and easy money. It was during this period that Holmes began to develop his deadly persona. He adopted the name H. Holmes to avoid detection from his past misdeeds. He crafted an image of respectability, all the while plotting his next move. In the late 1880s, Holmes arrived in Chicago, a city on the cusp of greatness, but also one rife with opportunity for those with a mind for the shadows. It was here that he would construct his most notorious creation, a building that would become known as the Murder Castle. The building was a labyrinth of secret passages, hidden rooms, and soundproof chambers. Holmes designed it specifically for murder, creating a space where he could torture and kill his victims with impunity. The Murder Castle was more than just a building to Holmes. It was an instrument of death, a macabre expression of his twisted psyche. He took pride in its construction, reveling in the fear and suffering it would contain. Within its walls, Holmes would trap and kill countless victims, their screams forever silenced within the soundproof rooms. The true extent of his crimes may never be known, but the Murder Castle stands as a chilling testament to the depths of human depravity. H. Holmes was a master manipulator, a puppeteer of people's hopes and dreams. He used his charm and charisma to lure victims into his web of deception, often targeting young women who had come to Chicago seeking a better life. Holmes would often pose as a businessman or a suitor, offering his victims jobs or marriage. He preyed on their vulnerabilities, exploiting their trust and innocence for his own sinister purposes. Once he had gained their trust, Holmes would invite his victims to his murder castle, often under the guise of showing them his hotel. He would then lead them to their deaths in the soundproof chambers he had constructed. Holmes's methods were calculated and cruel. He took pleasure in the suffering of his victims, often prolonging their agony for his own twisted amusement. He was a monster in human form, driven by an insatiable thirst for blood. Section 5, Unveiling the Horror Holmes's Capture and Trial. For years, H. Holmes operated with impunity, his crimes hidden within the walls of the Murder Castle. But his luck would eventually run out. In 1894, he was arrested in Boston for insurance fraud, a seemingly mundane crime that would unravel his web of murder. During their investigation, authorities uncovered evidence of Holmes's other crimes. They descended upon the Murder Castle, where they found a scene of unspeakable horror. The building was a veritable house of horrors, filled with the remains of Holmes's victims. News of Holmes's crimes sent shockwaves through the nation. The public was both horrified and captivated by the story of the Devil in the White City. Holmes's trial became a media sensation, with newspapers across the country following every detail. In 1896, H. Holmes was found guilty of murder and sentenced to death. He was hanged on May 7, 1896 at Moyamensing Prison in Philadelphia. Even in his final moments, Holmes remained unrepentant, showing no remorse for his heinous crimes. Section 6. Inside the Mind of a Monster. Motives and Madness. The true motives behind H. Holmes's crimes remain a subject of debate and speculation. Some believe he was driven by a lust for power and control, taking pleasure in the act of dominating and killing his victims. Others speculate that Holmes was motivated by greed, pointing to his numerous insurance scams and fraudulent schemes. It's possible that he killed his victims to collect on life insurance policies, seeing their lives as nothing more than a means to an end. Some psychologists believe that Holmes may have been a psychopath, lacking empathy and remorse. They point to his callous disregard for human life and his ability to charm and manipulate others as evidence of this disorder. Whatever his motives, H. Holmes remains one of the most perplexing and terrifying figures in American criminal history. His crimes expose the dark underbelly of the Gilded Age, revealing the evil that can lurk beneath a veneer of respectability. Section 7. The Legacy of Terror. Holmes's impact on criminal profiling. The case of H. Holmes had a profound impact on law enforcement and the field of criminal profiling. His crimes highlighted the need for more sophisticated methods of investigation, as traditional techniques had failed to stop his reign of terror. Holmes's case also brought to light the phenomenon of the serial killer, a term that was not yet in common use at the time. His crimes forced law enforcement to confront the reality that some individuals are capable of committing murder on a scale never seen before. The investigation into Holmes's crimes led to the development of new forensic techniques, including fingerprinting and blood analysis. These advances would revolutionize criminal justice, making it more difficult for criminals like Holmes to operate undetected. Holmes's legacy also extends to the public imagination. His story has inspired countless books, films, and television shows, cementing his place in popular culture as the archetype of the American serial killer. Section 8. America's first debating Holmes's place in history. While H. Holmes is widely considered America's first serial killer, his claim to this grim title is not without controversy. Some historians argue that other individuals whose crimes predate Holmes's also fit the definition of a serial killer. One such individual is Edward Roloff, who was hanged in 1871 for the murders of his wife and child, but was suspected of killing as many as 8 people. Roloff, like Holmes, was known for his intelligence and charisma, and his case, like Holmes's, captivated the nation. Despite these competing claims, Holmes's notoriety and the sheer scale of his crimes have solidified his place in the public imagination as America's first serial killer. His story serves as a reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places, and that even in the midst of progress, darkness can prevail. The debate over who holds the title of America's first serial killer is ultimately less important than the lessons we can learn from these cases. These cases remind us of the importance of vigilance, the need for effective law enforcement, and the dark potential that exists within the human heart. Section 9. Conclusion. The enduring shadow of H. Holmes. More than a century after his death, H. Holmes continues to cast a long shadow over American history. His crimes shock the nation, exposing the dark underbelly of the Gilded Age and revealing the depths of human depravity. Holmes's story serves as a reminder that evil can take many forms. It can hide behind a charming smile, a respectable facade, or a promising opportunity. It reminds us that we must always be vigilant, questioning our assumptions and trusting our instincts. While Holmes's reign of terror was brought to an end, his legacy continues to fascinate and horrify us today. His story has become a cautionary tale, a reminder of the importance of vigilance and the enduring power of evil. In the end, H. Holmes remains an enigma, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can reside within the human heart. His crimes continue to challenge our understanding of human nature, forcing us to confront the uncomfortable reality that some individuals are capable of unspeakable acts of cruelty.